All right, you guys, I'm going to show you some tips for drawing a mouth. I'm going to kind of set it up pretty simply first by looking at my lips, and the most defined line, the outline that I actually can see in a mouth, for the most part, is the line that separates the top and the bottom lip. And I'm going to just start that by drawing a line through there. That's the tricky thing about lips and noses is they don't have a whole lot of actual outlines. Most things are being created by shading. And this is one of the few actual outlines that you're really going to see. So we're going to draw things and then we'll shade and kind of make it look like those outlines disappear for the most part. So the top lip, I'm going to draw a little curve from one side to the other. And usually, I can't even say usually, but a lot of times people have a slightly bigger bottom lip than their top lip. In my case, I have pretty thin lips in general, but my bottom lip does look a little bit bigger. Just kind of keep in mind that this is all about observation, so take a look at what you're looking at. Now, you'll notice that there's a little cleft in the middle of my mouth. That's actually called the philtrum. And I'm going to kind of just draw a little curving line. You know, some people have much more pronounced ones, some people hardly have any. And usually there's a little bit of an indentation below it on the top lip. Mine's very subtle, but some people's may be more pronounced. And I'm going to kind of exaggerate it here just so you can kind of see what I'm going for. And basically, once we kind of have the lips set up like this, we don't have a whole lot more to do besides shading and maybe a little bit of refining because, you know, my lips aren't completely round here. They sort of swoop up a little bit. Same with on the other side. So I'm going to maybe correct that line, and I can even use an eraser if I need to kind of help adjust that outline. Kind of like that. So with the shading on the lips, let's talk about shading inside of the lips. First, top lips tend to be darker than the bottom lips just because what's happening is the light's coming and hitting, and the upper lip actually shades itself. So it's kind of being blocked by your face when the light's coming down. So we can kind of shade a little bit of this area here. You'll see in my mouth, the top lip is a little, like it's not completely dark in one spot. It's a little lighter as it gets towards kind of these areas. And then in the corners of the mouth, it's a lot darker. So I can kind of shade that a little bit heavier. The bottom lip, you can kind of see these lines that sort of wrap around the lip. And if I kind of shade in that sort of curved motion, as I kind of wrap around, that's going to also help give me the illusion that my lower lip is actually three-dimensional. And it's round and it's coming out at us. You don't want to make those lines too intense because then it'll make it look like you have like spiders on your face or something. All right, so I'm going to add just a little bit more value, really darken up that center line. Now, here's the trick is right now I still have a lot of outlines going on along the edges, but one of the ways that I can kind of hide that is actually to, instead of shading my lip, actually shade a little bit underneath. You can kind of see that there's a little bit of shadow on my chin underneath where my lip would be. And if I just add a little bit of shadow, you want to be careful how much you go and do this because sometimes it can make it look like you have like a 5 o'clock shadow, something like that. But if you add that shading, see how that kind of helps kind of create the edge of the lip without it being an outline. That's the trick to making it look more natural, more realistic. I'm just going to kind of soften that a little bit with my eraser. So it looks a little less like an outline. And the same thing's happening with the top lip. There's a little bit of that shading up here, that philtrum where it separates between my lips and it connects to the nose. That's why the picture has my nose in it as well, because your lips and your nose are kind of connected by the same part of your face. And it kind of helps to have them visible in the same area. The shading is really good, what's going to make the lips look like they're actually stuck in your face and not just kind of floating in space. I can use my finger if I want to kind of like smudge some of this a little bit Skin is usually pretty smooth looking, so there's not a whole lot of really harsh outlines. So when you outline too many things, it looks kind of unrealistic. Okay. And I could keep going with this a little bit more, but I think those are the main tips: is drawing that first line between the lips, getting the right shape, and then adding shading either inside the lip or around the lip to help it make it look like it stands out.